Yeah, we on what I got here, news tape. Go through the news tape. Then we're gonna go NFL, and then we go NBA and finish off with the Bulls bullshit. Cool.
Okay.
All right. What up, peeps? This is Get With It Sports, place where you get your sports the way you want it. I'm Glass.
I'm Brandon.
The best tag team tandem out here in sports talk. About to give you another episode 27 of the 2 Cents Deposit on Sports, place where we give you our 2 cents on the recent topics in the sports world. Thank you for listening to us while you're on the go. If you haven't already, go ahead and download the Spreaker app and search for Get With It Sports Media. While you're at it, go ahead and click the heart button to give us a like. It is much appreciated. And click the follow button so you can be alerted to the shows we have here at GWS Media. You can also watch most of the episodes on YouTube. Search for our Get With It Sports 2 channel. That's Get With It Sports 2, the number 2 channel, and subscribe so you can be alerted to all the videos we will upload in the future. How you feeling, bro?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Everything's in the sporting world is
up and popping. I feel like, after last night, the BS that Chicago Bulls did, I kind of, took some time, got it off my chest. Relieve some pressure. So I'm good now, but we definitely going to be speaking on what our Bulls did last night during the NBA draft. But let's go ahead and jump on the news tape. First off, we got the Roger Goodell reiterating that Colin Kaepernick is not being blackballed in the NFL. The NFL commissioner reiterated his stance that Colin Kaepernick isn't being blackballed in the league, as the quarterback remains a free agent well into the summer. Kaepernick is still unsigned after opting out of his contract with the San Francisco 49ers on March 3rd. While a litany of journeyman quarterbacks found new clubs, Kaepernick was passed over, with many believing his protest against racial inequality and police brutality is a leading factor. Goodell, however, disputes the notion that teams are actively trying to keep Kaepernick out of the NFL. Quote, they're going to do whatever it takes to make their football team better. So those are football decisions. They're made all the time. I believe that if a football team feels that Colin Kaepernick or any other player is going to improve that team, they're going to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go first, bro. What you think about Roger Goodell trying to reiterate that he's not being blackballed?
You know what? The whole thing about that is you can't prove it.
Right.
That's the whole thing. He can keep saying what he wants because you can't prove it. I can't prove it. The league can't nobody prove it. Unless you just got an owner that will speak out and say, "Hey, this is what's happening." For whatever reason, it's crazy to think that today that somebody like that can just actually be blackballed out of sports. He took his team to the Super Bowl. He still young. They ain't got to pay him nothing, little or nothing. So it's just hard to believe that a team can not even just give you an interview because you made a stand against the national anthem. Really? It's pro-choice, But, if you walk like a duck, quack like a duck, shit, it's a duck. And that's how it look, Whether he can say what he want to say, but that's how it look. And it's terrible. It's hard. Because you figure, how can 30-some teams blackball a player? And granted, all the teams don't need a quarterback, but it's a lot of them that do.
Right.
So how can you not even bring this guy in for a trial even to make yourself look like you ain't blackballing. You know, because I ain't heard that he even got a trial nowhere, right?
Right. Remember Seattle brought him in and said that he's a starting quarterback and told him and then just let him go. So one team faked the funk. I'm not saying they brought him in to try out. They just brought him in, went through the motions, and never signed him. I don't think they even planned to sign him.
Right.
So go ahead, bro.
It's crazy, but you know, maybe he know a little more about it and ain't spoke out yet, and hoping that he get a job, whatever. But he can let this season go by, and then you'll hear a lot more about it. You know. But I mean, yeah. It's happening. I know it's happening in basketball. You know, a couple of them players that came out and said it. You know, Craig Hodges, Mahmoud. You know, they came out and said it. They were blackballed. You know, so it's not beyond the realm of sports. I'd say that.
I totally agree. I mean, it's it's just blatantly in our face what's going on, and you sitting here trying to. Basically, how the saying goes, you're trying to piss on me, trying to say it's raining. Dude, man, we know what's going on. We understand. I guess their cover is if we don't say it, he's being blackballed, then it's not happening. So they're doing everything they can to circumvent around what's blatantly in our face is that he's being blackballed. And I don't know what the tweet was. Homie of the show, Diego Brishnikov from AA Sports tweeted something from a sports page where an executive in the NFL wants to know if why Colin Kaepernick should be in the NFL. I mean, come on, man. It's obvious why he should be in the NFL. And I responded because, number one, he's better than all the backup quarterbacks and damn near a fourth of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. There's your reason. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that, just like you said, only one team took a look at him. And like I said, I don't even think the Seattle Seahawks even wanted him on the team. Because honestly, if he was on the team, I believe there'd been like a division on the team because, you got some people going to be on Russell Wilson's side and some people going to be on Colin Kaepernick's side because they both run basically the same type of offense.
That's skill set. Yeah.
Exactly. Skill set. Thanks. So I can see that to a certain extent, but there's 31 other teams. And I could count maybe 8 to 10 of them need somebody like Colin Kaepernick on their team.
Our Bears, they got the other quarterback.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I would have took Kaepernick over. What's the guy's name? I don't even know his fucking name. They got
from Tampa Bay.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, but
yeah, exactly.
that's the whole thing. So now let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think after all that's taken place over all this time, if Kaepernick can do it again, would he?
Ooh, good question. Good question. If you knew what the end result was?
Yeah.
The mature, older Colin Kaepernick that he is right now, I think so. I think he would. Let me see. Yeah, I think he would. Because I think right now he's at this place in his life where he don't consider himself a martyr, but he's living off the convictions that he putting out. You know what I'm saying? It's like he really believes in his heart. This is what you're supposed to do. And I think he would. Because if you think about it, he's not doing anything wrong. He didn't commit a felony.
He's definitely not doing anything wrong, but we are right now in the time that we in right now. It's again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not how you do it. So now let's saying that he knew the end result, and this, of course, this is all hypothetical, if he knew, so I'm not saying he definitely wouldn't not change the way he feel.
Okay.
But he would probably go about it a different way, just so he can actually stay employed, and kind of, make a stance in another way, instead of, but I get it. What he was doing was broad. It was put out every week, it was let off a lot of the sports news every day for the longest time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but me, I asked myself the same question I asked you. No, I don't think he would have done it. I think he would have chose a different way if he knew the end result. And I think us people, a lot of things we do, if we knew the end result, we would think differently or go about it differently. Not saying we wouldn't do it. We would probably go about it differently on how we do certain things.
I got you. Okay. With your answer that you just gave, that he would have done something different. Let me ask you this: just if you can't answer, because this is coming off the top of my dome, what do you think he could have done different?
Now that I don't know, because I know he didn't. This didn't just pop in his head. What he has done, decide to sit down or whatever. He thought about it. Trust me, he thought about it. So I don't know. I don't know what he could have done.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk about what I feel about this right now, and we're gonna move on, because I could be talking about this all day. Because I've talked about this with other people in sports, other friends of the show, and I'm gonna tell you about this. Okay, number one, he never put it out there in Front Street what he was doing. Remember, he was sitting on the bench. Somebody observed what he was doing, asked him a question. That's when it all blew up. He was sitting on the bench, minding his own business. You asked him what he's doing. Right. He gave you a direct and very informative answer. Then that's when it blew up, and that's when he started kneeling. And my thing is this, and the thing goes across the board: freedom of speech. You have the freedom to do whatever you want to do, but you're gonna have to deal with the repercussions of your freedom of speech. I got that. And maybe he could have done something different, but he didn't. Once again, he hasn't done anything wrong. He told you why he did it. He did it. He's done with the okay. And I'm keep going. Friend of the show, shouts out to Big Q. Me and him was arguing about this back and forth. He wants to know why he doesn't continue doing it. He's calling him basically a hypocrite, because now you stop doing it because your bank account getting kind of low, and now you straighten out. Now, great, maybe yes. Part of it is yes. I'm trying to get trying to get another job or get a job in the NFL, and you try to get yourself straight. But this is my thing. There was no end game to this. You protest. Just because you protest one season don't mean you continually protest for the rest of your NFL career. You get what I'm saying? It's like you brought it on Front Street of what's going on with the police brutality and the inequality against minorities from the police, right?
Right.
You set your protest. You brought it on Front Street. People ask questions. Now it's to the forefront. Cool. I talked to the police. We got certain situations and organizations jumping in, and we got processes going to limit or decrease the police brutality among minorities, correct?
Right.
I don't need to protest anymore. Right. Everybody's observed what I'm doing. Cool. And my example for that is just like the situation 2-3 years ago at Missouri University with the racial injustices over there. You had this one dude that was a graduate student went on a hunger strike. Brought it to the forefront. The football team joined. They didn't join in. The football team said they're not going to play another game until the situation is resolved. They resolved it. You're done. And I'm telling the Big Q. So what the hell you think to do? He's just going to continue starving himself to death?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the end game. You brought on Front Street. You brought attention to the situation. Now that's the end of protest.
Protests are about to bring attention to the situation.
Exactly. You know? And I guess my thing is, the people saying, he shouldn't have done it this way. Number one, he didn't harm anybody. There was nothing illegal about it. And I guess my thing is, people want people to protest the way they want to protest.
Right.
The way they think you should protest. What I mean by that is, you know what? You're messing up. You're messing up the fabric of the armed forces, the veterans, and all that stuff. And he really didn't. And I guess what I'm saying is this: I'm not going to protest the way you want me to protest, because if I protest the way you want me to protest, you're not going to pay attention to what I'm protesting about.
Right.
That's like when people in Chicago jumped on the expressway, walked across the expressway, stopped traffic. Yes, it didn't hurt anybody. It might have stopped you going to your destination. People say, well, you should jump in on the expressway. Why don't you just do that on the side of the road? Now, if I did it on the side of the road, what you going to do? You ain't going to mind me any business. You're going to keep on going where you going. Right. You know what I'm saying? So people ain't going to that's the whole purpose of the protest, is to bring insight and bring whatever they're dealing with to the forefront.
Right.
So back to just wind this up. Roger Goodell, he's full of bullshit right now. Yeah. He's being blackballed. We know he's being blackballed. And when he made a statement about teams going to do whatever it takes to make their football team better, Colin Kaepernick is better than 1/4 of the starting quarterbacks you got on these teams and all the backups that you got on this team. So if you really want to make your team better, you will hire Colin Kaepernick.
Okay.
You answered your own question.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, man, let's go ahead and move on. I could jump on that all day. Back to our beloved Blackhawks, Chicago Blackhawks. They lost in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But we had a certain situation with one of our favorite players. Chicago Blackhawks forward Marian Hossa will miss the entire 2017-2018 NHL season due to a progressive skin disorder and the side effects of the medication used to treat it. The Blackhawks and Hossa announced Wednesday in a statement. Over the course of the last few years, under the supervision of the Blackhawks medical staff, I have been privately undergoing treatment for a progressive skin disorder and the side effects of the medications involved to treat the disorder. Due to the severe side effects associated with those medications, playing hockey is not possible for me during the upcoming season. While I'm disappointed that I will not be able to play, I have to consider the severity of my condition, how the treatments have impacted my life on and off the ice. Despite his health struggles, Hossa played in 73 of the team's 82 games last season, contributing 26 goals, good enough for third on the team, and another 19 assists. Team physician Dr. Michael Terry strongly supports Hossa's decision to sit out next season, calling it the appropriate approach for Marian in order to keep him functional and healthy in the short term and throughout his life. The 2017-18 campaign marks the ninth year of Hossa's 12-year, $63.3 million contract, leaving 3 more seasons after that with a cap hit of $5.275 million. If there's anybody who can relate to Hossa what Hossa may be going through, is former Hawks defensive man and current Wild broadcaster Tom Reed, who had to retire from the NHL in 1978 because of an allergic reaction his skin was having to his hockey equipment. Reed said during his playing days, his condition didn't have a formal name and was known only as the gunk. His condition involved a bad reaction to the sweat, heat, and friction generated with his equipment when he played, no matter how many times he changed his equipment. Reed said he tried various creams and lotions, but that didn't help the pain or from having his skin bleed or emit pus. He would wrap himself in towels to comfort himself, only to have his skin peel off when he removed the towels. So, hey, I don't know what the hell going on with Marian Hossa, but do what you got to do, man, to keep quality of life up to par, man, because I can't even imagine having from what I understand, and I was reading upon this stuff, it started off as like a size of a quarter.
Yeah.
And if you scratch it, it's not even going to inflame. It's going to spread. So it's almost like shingles, but if you scratch at it, it spreads and gets bigger and bigger. It gets to the point, just like Tom Reed said, you put a towel over it and then your skin comes off. So it's like your skin is not thick enough to withhold the friction that your hockey equipment had with the sweat going on underneath your hockey equipment and the equipment. So, dude, man, I mean,
it sounds like a flesh-eating disease.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So he got to do what he got to do. Now, from what I understand, it's not even the fact of the skin disease. It's the medication he's taking and the side effects from the medication that's messing with him. You know, I think he's taking cortisone, steroids, and other inflammatory products. And, you know, sometimes you mix one product with another product, it kind of like messes you up. So, I mean, I like, you know, he's on our Blackhawks, man. I think, and he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. And he's like the mainstay of the team. So, I mean, if you got to retire, go ahead and retire. I think you made your money. And I think what the NHL is trying to prevent, because I think with him filing for injured reserves, IR, that's money off the cap. And for what the NHL is trying to say is, are you trying to say he's going to put him on IR to get this other player? I can't remember the other player that the Blackhawks trying to get. Bring him in up under the cap. Okay. So they're trying to see how serious, you know what I'm saying, if y'all try and play games and use his condition to get this other player, or is this really legit and he need to go on IR? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes. I mean, they already planning on him sitting out the year, so this don't sound like no game.
You know, exactly. And I mean, it's not like I just told you his stats. He ain't no punk that you're trying to put on the side. You need, you know, this is legit. So we just wish the best for Marian Hossa. He's a Black Hawk for life, and if he got to retire, go ahead, retire and spend some time with your family, because this ain't nothing but a game, man.
All it is.
You know. So, all right, man. Let's go ahead and move on to. Let's go to NFL real quick. Then we jump on the NBA, which just happened last night stuff. So going on, see, this is why I don't understand about the NFL helping out the Patriots get better. Patriots,
What now?
The Patriots signed ex-Jet linebacker David Harris on a 2-year deal. Your beloved, okay, well, you know what? You funny because you like the Jets and the Patriots. So this probably ain't bothering you. Now, this is just helping one of your teams out. One team helping another team. Anyway, the defending Super Bowl champions just keep finding ways to bolster an already stacked roster. Scooping up a longtime defensive leader of a division rival, the New England Patriots have reached an agreement with free agent linebacker David Harris on a 2-year contract. Harris' deal has a base value of $5 million, $1.25 million guaranteed, with incentives boosting the potential total to $6.75 million. A second-round pick in 2007, Harris played the first 11 seasons of his career with the New York Jets before being released in a surprise move earlier this month. The Jets cutting ties amid their ongoing rebuild was widely considered to be a cost-cutting move, more so than the split influenced by any sort of major drop-off in play. Man, listen, we just talked about, I think it was, last week, a week before last?
Week before last.
When the Jets just got rid of Eric Decker, David Harris, and some other players, man. And then the Patriots, of course, as always, like they always do, scoop up the players for the cheap and they keep winning. Just like when the Bears got rid of what's the tight end name? Bennett. Right. Got rid of Bennett. They scooped him up and won a championship last year. So I'm just tired of people helping out the Patriots.
Well, I mean, what do you want the Jets to do? Not hold on to them, knowing that they need the cap room and the money in order to continue to rebuild? No, let's hang on to them because New England might get them. So we ain't gonna let nobody go.
Hey man, it's just a biased opinion. You know how much I hate the Patriots, man. And you know what? I'm just feeling the effects of when the Buffalo Bills gave them wide receivers, the Saints gave them a wide receiver, top-notch wide receiver. It's just like, damn, y'all, you do know this is a competition, right?
Right, yeah, I get it.
Yes, it's just, I ain't gonna lie. I'm an official Patriot hater, bro.
I'm just gonna tell you when stuff changes, and y'all get y'all dip in where New England is not viable for a minute, and that's when Brady leaves. Okay, when Brady leaves, y'all have y'all window, to whatever team it is, to move in there and win them a couple Super Bowls. Okay?
And as bad I want to disagree with that, I can't.
Right.
I agree with you, man. Anyway. Oh boy, it's just the rich getting richer, man. That's all that is. Anyway,
on the cheap.
Yeah, man. Whatever. Let's talk about the money maker that we have here. The top baller that we just that just formed. What was it? Yesterday, I think it was. Raiders and Derek Carr finalized a record-setting 5-year, $125 million deal, which make Derek Carr the highest-paid player the NFL has ever seen. The Oakland Raiders and their star quarterback finalized the deal. Carr annual new money average is $25 million, tacked on to the fourth and final year of his initial rookie contract. Surpasses the previous record of $24.59 million set by Andrew Luck last offseason. The pack also includes $70 million in guarantees, $40 million of which is fully guaranteed at the signing. So right now, Derek Carr, the quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, is the richest or the highest paid player in NFL history. Dude, now, just like I'm a official Patriot hater, I hate the Raiders too. But I give respect where respect is due. I like me some Derek Carr. I just wish he was on another team, but it is what it is. Derek Carr is definitely up and coming. He got the right skill set to improve the team. And just like we seen last year, they was just rolling through the NFL right before he broke his leg. I think the game before. Yeah, it was either the game before or 2 games before the season was over. And everybody was upset because I guess whoever they was playing, I can't remember offhand, they was blowing him out. They should have took him out. They didn't. He broke his leg. And they was out in the first round of the playoffs. I think they played the Houston Texans, if I ain't mistaken.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I think it was Houston Texans. But that just proves the value he has with that team. They was rolling. They might have been 13-2, if I'm mistaken. I could be wrong, but they was up there. And just lo and behold, he broke his leg, and they was out just that quick. So he showed – you see his value, but do you think he deserved that $125 million? What do you think?
No.
You know what? I didn't expect you to say that. Why you don't think you deserve it, man?
I mean, you know what? I take that back because if they gonna give it to you, yeah, you deserve it. If they gonna give it to you for that reason, you're gonna deserve it. But yeah, he had that team rolling. They was good job or whatever. But what has he done to actually, I mean, we're gonna talk about earning, because I constantly took your team to the championship round or the second round of the playoffs every year since I've been here. I'm paying you on potential then.
I was just about to say, you're right.
I'm paying you on potential. I'm finna pick this franchise up and move them to Vegas. I'm going to need you to lead, to be a franchise leader when this team make this move or whatever. Mm-hmm. Offense last year wasn't their problem. It was defense, and they should have been trying to take some of their money and pay David Harris and not let New England scoop them up.
Great point. Great point.
Like they did. So I mean, it's priorities, and I don't get it. If you had 125 million for Derek Carr, surely you had 5 for Harris.
Mm-hmm. But we talked about this before. But that's the cyclical of, I ain't gonna say destroying the team, but weakening the team when you're paying the quarterback half of what the franchise is worth. Or not say
exactly.
Fourth of, you know what I'm saying? Because let's not forget, remember when the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl against the 49ers? They threw a boatload of money at golly. What's his name? Joe?
The quarterback?
Yeah.
Flacco,
thank you. Joe Flacco. But now you threw all that money to Flacco, but you had to get rid of the wide receiver that helped y'all win the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had to get rid of a defensive or offensive lineman that helped you win the Super Bowl. Let's fast forward to last year, or not even last year, when Andrew Luck came to the league. You gave him money when you need to help out the offensive line that was weaker than water.
He paid.
Exactly.
Put his ass all year long.
Yep.
But he was paid though.
Exactly. So I agree with you. You know what? I didn't think about that until you brought that up. Like, yeah, how much is too much though? 125 million. Do you actually need all that money? I'm sure he's not going to turn it down. Now my question is, when y'all was in negotiation, did you just throw 125 at him, or did you negotiate?
Right. I don't know. 70 guaranteed, 40 a signing bonus or whatever for guaranteed that signing. So I don't know. Yeah, and it's like you said earlier. You said this when we was talking about New England, whatever. You just like all these players. Like, this is a competition, So yeah, if I'm sure for whatever reason, no, I wasn't negotiated like this. Whereas I'm walking if I'm not the highest paid player in the league, So again, I'm using David Harris as an example. New England Patriots is the champions or whatever. We know it every year. I got to sign Harris just to keep these motherfuckers from getting them. If nothing else,
right.
I'm going to buy the property across the street just so nobody else will move in and, stave off the competition or whatever. And I can get Harris. I'm sure they could have got Carr. I'm almost positive for 100 million, 115 million, 110 million. Why not? Especially with the same signing bonus.
Right.
So it's just crazy. But you know what? It's so much money in the league now today. I think franchises feel like if my quarterback ain't one of the top highest paid players in the league, my team isn't relevant.
Mm-hmm. True. And the wide receiver I was thinking about was Anquan Bolden. Joe Flacco needed Anquan Bolden to make himself look good. When you got all the money, they had to let go of Anquan Bolden. When he was still catching phenomenal passes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I can pay this man all this money, but we might not see the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I might pay this man all this money. I got to get rid of Cooper, Amari Cooper. Pay this man all this money. I got to get rid of another wide receiver or lineman. So it's all fine and dandy. Like I said, I don't want anybody to turn down no money, especially in the NFL. But you got to sit there and think about what you're going to be lacking during that season.
Exactly.
So. But congrats to Derek Carr. Go ahead and get your money, bro.
Hey, you got it.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the NBA real quick. The Lakers traded D'Angelo Russell, Timothy Mozgov to the Nets for not Robin Lopez, Brook Lopez, and the 27th pick. Los Angeles had a pick at 2, 27, and 28 in the first round of Thursday night. By unloading Mozgov, gargantuan contract. The Lakers will also shed $54 million in old salary over the next 3 years, including $17.2 million in 2017-2018 season. He was shut down near the tail end of – I'm sorry. Mozgov was shut down at the tail end of the season in order to free up playing time for a younger talent on the roster. Lopez has just 1 year left on his deal, worth $22.6 million, which will create even more cap space for the Lakers next summer, when they are expected to be the heavy favorite to land Pacers Paul George, should he not be traded for ahead of time. So kudos, you know what? Magic Johnson making moves. Now, okay, I'm gonna say it again. No, it's all these teams that I hate making news in the sports world. I hate the Lakers, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. I love Magic Johnson making some moves that I know Jimmy Butler would never do if he was still up in the front office. Got to give credit to Magic. Got rid of D'Angelo Russell. Nothing against D'Angelo Russell, but he wasn't the point guard they expected. Timothy Mozgov, which is a bust money trap for the team. Got rid of them, freed up $54 million, and you get 2 extra picks in the first round, and Brook Lopez. And I like me some Brook Lopez. I think Brook Lopez is one of the top 5 centers in the league.
Right, he's true.
He was just on the wrong team. You know what I'm saying? He could shoot the 3 now. He get you rebounds. He could protect the paint. So that's a great trade-off. Timothy Mozgov for Brook Lopez and some picks. I got to give credit where credit's due. Great move for Magic and the Lakers, man. What you think, real quick?
You know what? My whole thing is, okay, I like the move what the Lakers did, the moves they actually made, but what the fuck is New Jersey thinking about?
You know what? And I was just thinking about this the other day. New Jersey is like that slot machine that's always broke. If you pull the lever the right way and bump on it, you get whatever you want up out of there. That's New Jersey Nets, man. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm getting rid of Brook Lopez, whom I only owe $21 million.
Yeah.
To pick up $54 million contract from Timothy Mozgov.
Mm-hmm. But let's think about this. Magic might have played this the right way because Timothy Mozgov is what? Russian, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's the owner of the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, they Russian, both of them.
So he might have played that. He might have played that role to get him to take this, man. Take your countryman with you. Here, take him.
Man.
Hey, and you know what? Everybody talk about the 1 year contract Lopez have on the table. He played good enough. They might re-sign him.
Yeah, I mean, if he fit in, he fits in. You know, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't. You go from a losing team to a winning team. You know, and but this whole Laker thing. I mean, they putting a whole lot on this rookie point guard that they picked up balls. So, you know, we're gonna see. You know, we're gonna see how it all shake out. But yeah, I mean, it's a great deal for the Lakers right now as we speak.
I totally agree. Let's move on to another trade that happened. The Atlanta Hawks have traded their 8-time All-Star and the 31st pick in Thursday's NBA draft to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Miles Plumlee, Marco Bellinelli, and the 41st pick. The Atlanta Hawks got rid of Dwight Howard amidst all this. Now, let me just read on. We are excited. This is what the general manager for the Hornets, Rich Cho, stated. We are excited to add a player of Dwight's stature to our roster. He has been a very talented player. Had is what I think. Not has been, had been a talented player. An elite rebounder and rim protector, as well as a physical presence since the moment he entered the league. Howard signed a 3-year, $70 million contract with the Hawks last summer, averaging a double-double of 13.5 points and 12.7 rebounds on 63.3% shooting and 74 appearances. Atlanta was reportedly in the process of working out a trade with the Nets, but it fell apart once Brooklyn made a deal with the Lakers to acquire Russell and Mozgov. Howard has previously worked under the current Hornets head coach Steve Clifford during his time with the Orlando Magic, where Clifford served as an assistant for 5 years. The two were also a part of the 2012-2013 Lakers as well. Dwight Howard came to the league as a monster with the Orlando Magic. Ever since he had that fiasco with Stan Van Gundy, never been the same since. He went to L.A., didn't fit in. He went to the Rockets, didn't fit in. He went to his hometown Atlanta Hawks, didn't fit in. Hell, is he just like a relic now?
He's what is written here. He is a has been.
Right.
He's a shell of his former self. You know, he's not one of the top centers in the league no more. I don't know what he is now. He's just in the league. He's a big body in the league, averaging 13 and 12. You know, that's just what he is right now. He's not dominant. Don't nobody worry about him. Don't nobody game plan around him or none of that. He's just another body. Right.
Totally agree. I'm gonna make two statements here. First off, I don't think he knew how to. You know what? He had the natural ability to do what he wanted to do what he do, but when the NBA found out his limitations, that's where he lost it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't try to reinvent himself, learning how to. Now he's saying he's learning how to shoot a 3-pointer. Dude, you should have did that a couple of years ago. I really don't like my big man shooting 3-pointers, but Howard never knew how to reinvent himself and how to have an end-of-point presence to score. He didn't work on his foot game, his pivot, or anything.
Nothing. He never could play in the post. You know, that was his downfall right there.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And number two, I really don't think he wanted to play in the NBA. Just hear me out. You know, he had the height, the build, and all that stuff. It was all fun when he was in Orlando dunking on everybody, winning the dunk contest. But when, like I said, when people knew his limitations, knew his weaknesses, and played on that, it wasn't fun for him no more. I think that's where it all fell off right there. I'm not saying he did. He didn't. I think he didn't want. I think he wanted to play, but he didn't have that love for the game. Kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just didn't want to. He didn't want to practice or make himself better. He just lived off of what the talents he had at his natural ability. And now that wore off, he don't have that mindset to make himself better. He don't have that dog in him. And teams like, man, I ain't paying on this money for this. Right. I could go ahead and give me, like I said, like a Brook Lopez or something to do something like this. So I think is he a Hall of Famer? Yeah, he got the numbers to show that he's a Hall of Famer. But his life in the NBA could be longer if he reinvented himself. I think it's going to be cut short. He might be out the NBA within the next 3 years.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Might be with this contract.
Yeah. It might be it, man. Sad to say, but that might be it, bro. All right, man, let's move on to what's going on with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the front office. The Cleveland Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert has offered Chauncey Billups a 5-year contract to take over the team's front office. Billups is undecided about whether to accept the deal. His reservations are rooted in fears about both LeBron James' potential departure next year and the prospect of being objectively critical with close personal friend and Cavs head coach Tyronn Lue. Gilbert opted not to renew the contract of general manager David Griffin after negotiations between the two broke down on Monday and immediately honed in on Billups. Gilbert met with him twice in the past 2 days. No other candidates interviewed for the job. The former 5-time All-Star will be stepping right into the fire with a high stakes offseason that could well determine whether James is still with the Cavs past 2018. Griffin had reportedly been working on mammoth trades for Jimmy Butler and Paul George before he and the team parted ways. Though he was only the GM in title, Griffin was the team's top basketball decision maker, effectively serving as president of basketball operations. Billups was reportedly being targeted to serve as president, with the possibility of hiring a GM to work under him. I'm going to say this right now. Chauncey Billups did not take this job at all. Stay away from it. Stay on ESPN, be an analyst, do what you're going to do until another team come up. But this here right here is nothing but a trap. Because I just like stated at the beginning, you don't know if LeBron James is going to be there. And I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I respect his gameplay. Every team he left, we're in shambles. When he left Cleveland, they was the bottom of the Eastern Conference, or bottom of the league. You know what I'm saying? When he left Miami, they didn't take a big drop, but they took a substantial amount of lost him a lot of games since he left. You know what I'm saying? And from what everybody's talking about, and I have to agree, I don't think he's gonna be there after next season. I think he's going to LA. Because number one, I think we talked about this last week before last. He ain't cool with Dan Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
He never could. I'll ask anybody out there, if y'all see a recording, see whatever, tell me the last time he called Dan Gilbert by his name. He always said the owner or him. You know what I'm saying? He never called him Dan Gilbert in public since he came back.
Right.
So, I think Chauncey Billups and Gilbert supposedly like real close friends, because I think they saying that when Chauncey was playing in Detroit, he would do commercials for Dan Gilbert for his, I think it was Home Financial Service or something like that. Whatever it wasn't Quicken Loans or whatever it was before that. Mm-hmm. So he's real close with the owner, and I like they said, he no other candidate interviewed for that job. He really wanted Chauncey Billups for that job, but like I said, Chauncey Billups don't know what's going on with LeBron James, and just like I stated, he's real close with Tyronn Lue, so he have to give all the orders. I think that could work out. But another thing that's not even mentioned here, I just found out his oldest daughter is a senior in high school in his home state. I mean, his hometown, Denver, Colorado. He's from Denver. His kids go to school there. His oldest daughter is a senior in high school, and you know how that goes. She want to finish off her year there.
Right.
So I don't know if Chauncey should step back and wait till she graduates and see the landscape of the Cleveland Cavaliers right there. I think he should just wait and see what's going on. What you think?
Well, it's a lot going on. I don't know if he had a conversation with LeBron or whatever. I mean, this is the whole thing about that right now. Any new GM, you got to feel like they walking into something. And you're right. They don't know, because LeBron leave, Cleveland is rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. Now, do you want to be the GM that rebuild the Cleveland Cavaliers and bring them back to prominence? So that's a question you have to ask yourself, because if I take the job, I would have to be expecting LeBron to leave.
Okay.
I'm expecting him to leave. If he stays, great, we can go in this direction. Mm-hmm. But I'm making plans on you not being here. So I mean, it's right. The job is set up for failure. Mm-hmm. But I mean, whoever takes it is going to fail. Whoever it is, especially if LeBron leave. I mean, it almost might be better for him to leave if I'm the new GM, because now I get to start over. My leash is longer. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not expecting to do nothing right away. Hell, we just lost all our top players, so I'm expecting to rebuild the team. But with LeBron still there, and you step into that role, you're expected to win now.
Mm-hmm.
Make moves now. So I get it. It's a here that, but like I said, the main thing you said in this article was his personal relationship with the owner and the coach. That might affect, some decision making, because if it's not going right, Tyronn Lue, I gotta fire your ass.
Right.
My friend or whatever, but it's not working out. So that more so is important than anything, I think. So
right.
He got a lot to think about. But like you said, hell, it depends on what he wants to do. Right now, everything's great for him. Your analyst seems to be a pretty good one or whatever. So, he may be home on the weekends or whatever. Only, not doing 12-hour, 15-hour days. So he got to take all that into consideration.
Right.
I'm sure he will, but I don't know. This GM role going to Cleveland, that's a no-winner right now.
Right. I totally agree. And another thing I forgot to mention, Dan Gilbert does not extend GMs. They ran through, I can't remember his name. He used to play for Duke. Golly. My gosh. But anyway, he never extended GMs. And
that one.
Ferry, yeah. Danny
Right.
Ferry, you're right. Dave Griffin did a great job. Been there 3 years. 3 years he been there. They've been to the finals 3 years. Yes, I know they got LeBron James. I got that. But he gave LeBron all the pieces he need to contend in the finals 3 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? He should have got that job. He shouldn't have got fired. That's just my opinion. But another thing Chauncey Billups need to understand is that no matter if the LeBron effect can be blinding. That's what I mean by that. Before LeBron came to the Cavaliers out the draft, the Cavaliers was a small market team.
Right.
Even with LeBron there, they're a small market team. They just have LeBron James on that team. You've seen the effect it has when he left the first time. They are still a small market team. They just happen to have the best player in the league on their team. So Chauncey got to understand that no matter what, you got to keep that thought that you are a small market team.
Right.
And it's going to be hard for you to get, once LeBron leaves, it's going to be hard for you to get the top-notch players on that team. You got to be a GM or a president of basketball operations to understand that and work through the draft. You got to do your due diligence in the draft to bring the right players in the draft on that team and make it work. Just like the Golden State Warriors.
Yep.
They're a small market team. They lived under the Clippers and the Lakers. Look what they did. Oh, the Sacramento Kings. I ain't gonna knock them. There's a time when the Sacramento Kings and the LA Lakers ran the West. You know what I'm saying? So they worked. They did their due diligence. Got the right players up in there, and look where they are now. So that's what Chauncey Billups got to understand. You have a small market team.
Exactly.
So I don't know if he want to do it this year or wait a year, whatever. But it's, to me, Dan Gilbert is the problem. Hate to say it. He don't resign. He don't extend play. He don't extend GM. So just wait for another opportunity, Chauncey. Just put it like that.
Right.
Now let's get on to what the elephant in the room. We if we got enough time to talk about the draft, but me and you, we got to talk about this bullshit right here with the Bulls. No pun intended. Did last night, man. The Chicago Bulls dangled their Lone Star player in trade rumors for almost 2 years before finally dealing away Jimmy Butler for pennies on the dollar. Chicago received Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, and the number 7 pick used on Lauri Markkanen from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for Butler and the 16th selection used on Justin Patton. The Bulls had an elite two-way player under control for 2 more years. That should have fetched much more than what they received. Levine is the crown jewel of the deal. The two-time dunk champion has flashed plenty of potential in the 3 seasons, but he's recovering from a torn ACL. Levine averaged 18.9 points and 3 assists while shooting a blistering 38.7% from deep on 6.6 attempts per game. But the Timberwolves were substantially more successful when he sat the bench. He's talented. He's a talented scorer, but he doesn't create for others, and his defense is poor. Dunn is a much bigger question mark. The Bulls tried to acquire Dunn at last year's draft, but Minnesota was too enamored with his defensive potential and composure. Very little was translated over to his rookie year, however, as Dunn put up 3.8 points and 2.4 assists on 37.7% shooting, while struggling to find minutes on a bottom-tier club. He's already 23, and it's unclear whether what he does at the NBA level. Lastly, Chicago used the 7th pick for Markkanen, a center from Finland. The center from Finland has tremendous shooting range for his size, but his closest NBA comparison is Channing Frye. Oh, great. He can definitely stretch the floor, but Markkanen doesn't offer much physical presence in the paint on either end of the floor. The Timberwolves are ready to take their next step towards playing meaningful basketball, and Butler fits the bill perfectly. Head coach Tom Thibodeau now boasts 3 20-point-per-game scorers on his roster and a lockdown wing to show up his porous defense. Andrew Wiggins and Butler can both create their own shot and get to the line, while Karl Anthony Towns might already be the most prolific front court scorer in the league. Add some shooters to surround their core, and the Timberwolves should finally make the leap. Minnesota's 13-year playoff drought should end next season. Bruh, what the hell was the Bulls thinking with this trade, man?
I don't know, because they ain't really got nothing. They didn't get nothing for them to actually make them better. They're not going to be no better than they was before. Only thing I can think of right now is the dumping salary. You know, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, because they definitely got to pay these guys nothing. So that's absolutely the only thing I can think of. I mean, because you giving Wade, which I think I'm not convinced Wade's still gonna be here next year. I think it's another move or two gonna be made from the Chicago Bulls. You know, that's just what I think.
Okay, but, hold. I don't mean to stop your flow. Who the hell gonna pick up Dwayne Wade's 23.4 million?
I get it.
Oh, they're gonna pay him off?
Yeah. I mean, hell, who said the Bulls won't pay half that?
Got you. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
So, but I don't know what the Bulls are thinking about. You pick up none of these guys play defense, which you lack. Dunn, like you said, averaged just almost 4 points a game. He couldn't do nothing. Couldn't help his team while he was playing. Levine, absolutely no defense, and he can shoot from outside. But I mean, you already got this type of players on your team, and then the draft pick, like I said, they already got him Emeritus. So I have absolutely no idea. You know, I waited. I did my homework. I read on what these other guys did. What they was about, and they ain't about shit. So the Bulls could have went on, kept Butler, kept their draft pick, or trade Butler to somebody. See, the whole thing was, but I guess Butler said he didn't want to be traded. Foremost, so that was a big thing too. And you're gonna force a trade like that, but then again, they wanted to make a deal with Boston, and not jumping ship or whatever. But Boston they didn't do nothing in the draft, as far as I'm concerned. They wanted to hold on to that pick or whatever, and they could have got Butler,
right,
from the Bulls. So I don't get it. I don't know what I don't know what the East is gonna look like. But right now, Minnesota looking pretty good.
Oh, hell yeah.
Minnesota looking pretty good in the East for next year. You know, they got to do something with their bench.
Right.
But hey,
and that could be fixed. They got time to make some trades and get some free agents up in there.
Plenty of time. But they starting five.
Legit,
yeah.
They missing that veteran leadership that Butler's about to give them right now. You know what I'm saying?
They missing you. You know what? And that's the whole thing too, because Jimmy Butler. Now he lost some cool points with me. You know, with the antics he pulled here in Chicago.
Yeah.
By not respecting the coach or whatever. He's not going to do that. He wouldn't do that with Thibodeau. You know, he's not. And I get it. I know why, the history.
Right.
He's not going to do that with Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
So he will bring a certain type of leadership over there. And along with his defensive skills or whatever. So now I never thought Butler was a top 10 player in the league. Close to 15 maybe. You know, but the Minnesota definitely got better. The Bulls definitely either they took a step back or they still right where they was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They taking a step back. And I told you last night when I was on my way to work, I was listening to the press conference that Gar Forman and John Paxson gave. And like I told you, Paxson got so irate that he was giving short answers and was snipping at the reporters because he would say something like, "What did I just tell you?" Or "I just told you this." But he don't understand. You didn't tell the reporters anything. The reporters want to ask. The reporters asked, "Where we go from here?" You got rid of Jimmy Butler, and I admit he did say they was in a rebuild. Okay, we got that. We're in a rebuild. So what's the goal? He would never answer what the goal is. Like, okay, bring these new players. Which one of these players we gonna work off of?
Right.
He never give an answer. We got Dwayne Wade here. We working off of Dwayne Wade. He never answered. So they just asking, where we go from here? And they never had an answer. I think that's the problem. They don't know what the hell they doing.
Right.
They haven't known what the hell they was doing for years. They can't draft worth shit. And when they get a nugget out the draft, they get rid of it. Taj Gibson, diamond in the rough. You traded him to Oklahoma City for what the fuck is his name? Cameron Payne? Really? Right. Get rid of Jimmy Butler. I think he's a top 15, at least a top 15. All-star. At least he's all-star. What you get back? Did we get all-star back? No. Nothing against Zach LaVine. He's a great player. I ain't going to say he's a great player. He's a good player. He's an NBA player. But he's coming off ACL. He got a flat tire that we don't even know when he's going to be able to play. You got Dunn, who can't shoot. We already got guards. We don't need another guard. You get what I'm saying? It's just like you throwing bullshit at us and want us to accept it. I was ticked when he got rid of Thibodeau.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When Thibodeau, then you're going to bring in Hoiberg.
Right. I mean, right. When you got rid of Thibodeau, your team was averaging 60 wins a year.
And I understand that the front office and the coach didn't get along. But I can understand why the coach got upset. Because he don't know what the hell what we doing. You're not giving me players. And Thibodeau, he made sugar out of shit. Got nothing against Thibodeau. I love me some Thibodeau. But he trying to understand what y'all trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Right. Derrick Rose got hurt. Give me some help. You never gave him any help. So he did the best what he had on the roster. So I love me some Bulls. I'm a diehard Bulls fan. I'm a ride or die with them. Now that they stated that we're in rebuild mode, I know we're gonna be shit for the next 3 years, if not more. If not more, if they don't do anything.
Right.
That's my thing. Is okay. I'm willing to deal with that. Show me the end result within 3 years that we're gonna have potential to be in playoffs. Don't sit here and like, oh, well, we made a mistake. Oh, well, we made a mistake. If we're in rebuild mode, why the hell we pay Dwayne Wade all this money? You tell me we're going young. You hire Rondo, Wade, old timers. Man, come on, man. You ain't got to be a college graduate to know y'all don't know what y'all doing, man.
Oh, you're right.
You know, so I don't know what to say about the Bulls, man. But man, dude, any last word about these Bulls before we go ahead and close shop? But I know we could talk about the draft, but I know we run out of time. We're going over an hour if I ain't mistaken, man.
Yeah, well, the Bulls, like I said, I don't think it's over. I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about the Bulls.
It's not over.
My gut telling me it's not over.
It's not over at all, bro. Oh man, but real quick, I watched the draft last night. I watch college. I don't know if you don't watch that much college, right? College basketball.
No.
I watched a little. I'm just gonna give it real. The number one overall pick, Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
He ain't all that. This is just my opinion, people. Let me just let y'all know it's my opinion. This is what I'm saying with this. He might be the man. He might have potential. I ain't got nothing against him. All I can say is haven't seen him. I know ish about him until draft come along. He played in Washington. Washington only won 8 to 9 games. And I heard more about LeVar Ball, Jason Tatum, Josh Jackson, Fox, all them guys before I heard about Fultz. So if you ain't making no impact in college, I don't think you should be number one pick. That's just me. I could be wrong. He could be balling next year. I got that next couple of years. But if you didn't make it into the tournament, how you making your team better?
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? Lonzo Ball, he made it to the tournament. He had some people to work with, but he made his team better. Jason Tatum, he's not trying to be a leader, but he makes his team better. He's an offensive scorer. That's a great pickup for the Boston Celtics. If anything, Jason Tatum is going to make the Boston Celtics look better. But Markelle Fultz, I don't know ish about him because he never made it to the tournament. His team only won 8 games. So how are you going to sit here and tell me he deserved to be the number one pick?
Well, they did.
Yeah, exactly. But look who we talking about, the Philadelphia 76ers. They might need a guy. I got that, but I don't know, man. That's just me. I'm not impressed with Markelle Fultz. That's just me. Lonzo Ball, I can't wait to see what he does. And you know what? It could be because of his father blowing him up. I wait and see how he's gonna do with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So now, Philly. Did Philly ever even consider Ball?
You know what?
Or did they campaign so hard with the Lakers?
He campaigned hard with the Lakers, and I think either last week or week before last, when the Lakers was like, I don't know if we should take Ball, that's when he considered working out for the 76ers. You kind of get what I'm saying?
So he never – Ball, you saying the Ball never even worked out for the Sixers?
I don't think he did. After he found out that the Lakers were iffy about picking him at number 2, that's when he said, you know what, let me go ahead and consider working out for the 76ers. So I don't know if he did or didn't, but some tell me he didn't.
Now, I know Boston was considering Jackson at first.
Right.
Until he played him.
Now, let me tell you about that. When Boston had the number 1 pick, Josh knew they wasn't going to pick him. So why work out with him? I could work out with these other teams. When Boston and Philly switched flip-flop 1 and 3, he said, oh, I should work out for Boston, but they didn't have enough time. And I think, if I'm mistaken, I heard Danny Ainge was kind of ticked off that he didn't set up time for them to look at him. But to say that Josh Jackson –
they say Ainge was pissed because they flew out to Sacramento. He didn't call him and say, hey, you know what? We're going in a different direction. Y'all don't need to come out here. I'm not working out.
Okay.
They all got a fight. They went out to Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
And he ain't there. They told him, they got there. He wasn't even there.
There's always 2 sides to the story, man. For real.
Right.
Now, if that happened, if they flew out there, I'd be ticked too.
Right. That's why he was like, he could have called our front office and told us, had us get on the plane and fly across the country.
Right.
So it ain't like we going to the Midwest, That's a what's that? It's almost a 4-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, that's a new light on what I thought would jumped off. But anyway, Tell you the truth, the I believe the best job was the Celtics. I like Jason Tatum from Duke. I think he's gonna be a great offensive scorer for the team. Lonzo Ball, nice little pickup for the Lakers. Like I said, I can't wait to see what he's gonna do. Bad thing is what our Bulls did at number 7, picked up this Lauri Markkanen. I don't have nothing against this man. I seen him play at Arizona. He does for a 7-footer. He does shoot well, but that's all he got. He don't have no inside presence. Who I thought they should have picked up was Zach Collins from Gonzaga, because he got some pivot moves down low that almost made me see him as Elijah Wan. He got the foot skills or the foot speed to score around the basket like Elijah Wan.
Okay.
Not saying he's Elijah Wan, people. He just got the skill set that could become Elijah Wan. You know what I'm saying? I like his ceiling more so than I like who we picked up Markkanen. His ceiling. You can't go and say, so I wish we could have picked up Zach Collins, who was picked at number 10, instead of who we picked at number 7. And another guy I like that was in Oregon, I can't remember his name, Bell, the big man in Oregon. I like his, as they say, I like his motor. He's constantly working. And we gave him to the Golden State Warriors for some cash. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the hell the Bulls are doing, man.
That's what they were saying. Bill is saying he probably is the best defensive player in the
draft. He's a shot blocker. He protects the paint, and he, like I say, he got that motor in him to just continually go. You pick him up in the second round, steal of the draft to me, and you trade him to Golden State. Like, Golden State Warriors really need some help, bro. I'm just so done with Paxson and Foreman, man. But you know what? It is what it is. We just got to deal with it. And like you said before, we got a whole hell of a lot of time to sit here and just bash these guys for the rest of the season. And before we leave out, I don't know, did you hear about the tweet Jimmy Butler, trainer, put out there?
No.
That's the reason why people don't come to the Bulls, man, because people just be bashing the front office like they cheat. And that's another thing. All right, I know we got to leave, but I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I was looking for his tweet, but evidently he took it off. So Jimmy Butler's trainer, Jimmy Butler's in Paris right now with Dwayne Wade. Evidently, his trainer's out there too. So when the trainer found out that he got traded to Minnesota, he put out tweets something like 0-82. I know drug dealers with better morals than them. You can't trust the GM. Everybody knows that. I was trying to look it up. Now, see, this one gets me. I've heard talk radio say, if Jimmy Butler condone this, that Jimmy Butler don't have any class and he's better than that and all that stuff. He just showing how much class he got. Let me just say this real quick. I ain't saying I think I'm an upstanding person, but there's sometimes I could be an ass. It's like spur of the moment, I could be an ass. So I could understand. It ain't from Jimmy, it was from his trainer. But the thing was, people saying if I'm Jimmy Butler, I'm going to the trainer like, dude, man, take that down.
Right.
That shit was up all morning. I just looked it up and seen that it was taken down right now. So that goes to show that Jimmy Butler man, don't take that down yet. Just hold up for a second. I'm going to leave my part shots, drop this napalm on the Bulls organization because he didn't trust them in the first place. He stated that. Then you're going to tell him that you're not going to trade him. Then you're going to trade him right before the draft. See, the Bulls, they just.
But see, the Bulls dangled him last couple of years. So I don't think he didn't trust them.
He didn't trust them from right. I'm sorry. Right.
And I don't think they actually trusted him.
True. I can see that too. Good point. Ever since they got rid of Thibodeau, he been showing his ass. I got that.
Right.
I got that. But like I said, it ain't looking good. And then this is my last thing, then we could go. This is the reason why I think they got rid of Jimmy Butler when they did. I understand. I think they could have got a better offer from other teams instead of relying on this one.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I found out. Jimmy Butler had a designated player clause in his contract where if he made the all NBA team next year, the Bulls could offer him $200 million. He lost $70 million because of this trade. They didn't want to, you know how it is, like what Paul George went through and like what Gordon Hayward went through. If they made the All-NBA team, either the first, second, or third team, that team can offer him the max, $200 million. If they didn't make the All-NBA team, they can only offer him $150 million or $130 million, something like that. So you lose $50 to $70 million because you didn't make the All-NBA team. But we know Jimmy Butler can make the All-NBA team easy next year.
Right.
So let's get rid of him now. Now, with that being said, if you're a rookie, if you're on a rookie contract on that team and you get traded to another team, you can still get that designated player clause in effect on the other team if you was on your rookie contract. Get what I'm saying? So that's like, who's a rookie? Like Carl Anthony Towns. If he got traded from Minnesota to Indiana, he's still on that rookie contract, so he could get that $200 million contract. But since I think this is his second extension, right? Butler.
Yeah.
So now he lost out on $70 million. So I can understand them getting upset.
Yeah.
So, man, anyway, just had to put that out there real quick. I feel for Jimmy Butler. I'm with you, bro. Love me some Bulls, but I'm with you, bro.
Right.
All right, man, let's go ahead and close shop. We've been rambling too long. I know we didn't get to the NBA draft, but you can listen to everybody else for that, man. We tired of talking. We didn't even get to your boy Addison Russell and his wife.
Yeah, well.
Dude, 23 years old, got 2 kids and about to get divorced. Man, he living life too quick. All right, man, let's close shop. The crew at Get With It Sports want to thank you for taking the time to listen to the 2 Cent Deposit on Sports podcast. Once again, while you're here, click the follow button so you can be alerted to all the new episodes to the shows we have here at Get With It Sports Media. If you're watching us on our Get With It Sports 2 YouTube channel, let us know how you feel, how we doing, by giving us a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and don't forget to subscribe. You can give us a thumbs up, you give us a thumbs down, we don't care because we love doing this, and we're going to continue to do this. You can find us on Twitter, me at Get With It Sports, partner in crime here, Brandon at LEB412. You can read our posts on our blog page at getwithitsports.wordpress.com. Follow us on Facebook /Get With It Sports, or contact us via email at getwithitsports2, that's number 2 at gmail.com. Once again, I'm your boy Glass.
And I'm Brandon.
The best tag team tandem out here in sports talk. And as always, be good, be safe, get with it. Peace.